Hello again, YouTube. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. It's pretty much, as you see in the thumbnail, a 10-year challenge. So 10 years ago, my sister got her first pullip and I got my first dayang. The male, same from the same line. And I made my first seriously sewn outfit for my sister. And I made several sketches of possible outfits at the time, and then I tried to make one of them. So let's see if I can recreate the outfit better. So first off, I start with the skirt. It's a maroon, brown, reddish fabric, satin specifically, and I used some masking tape to paint some darker lines and paint a gear-esque pattern on the bottom with gold. So this Pullip Aurora originally has a steampunk theme, and my sister likes steampunk, so I made the outfit inspired by that. That's why the gears. Anyway, so after the painting and drying and setting the paint in place with an iron, I added some lace in a ruffle to the bottom, pinning at the sides and in the middle, and then in the middles of the separate pieces, and then in the middle and the middle again until the end. And sorry, my footage doesn't line up. And then I sew, and then I flip it over and top stitch. So next I'm going to add elastic to the waistband. Because of reasons, I'm doing this a bit differently than usual. So I first stitch my elastic to the edge, and then I'm going to hold it onto along the edge of my fabric, fold it over along the elastic and the fabric, and then hand sew that in place. Well, the footage explains a bit better about what's going on, but it's mainly because I didn't want a large elastic casing. But anyway, after that stitching of the channel is done, I pull on my elastic to the right length, measuring it around the doll's waist, and then I stitch the elastic in place and cut off the excess. And after that, I'm just going to sew up the back seam of the skirt. And after that, a little fitting test. Next, I'm going to do the underskirt. So in my design, it's a sheer, long, flowy skirt that comes out beneath the fancy skirt. And well, I didn't have that much sheer fabric, but I had this one. It's sheer black, and yeah, I fold over the top edge, pin it in place, and sew. This is my elastic channel, and now I'm going to add my elastic, putting it to one side and putting it out the other, then putting it in place, and then sewing it in place and sewing up the back seam. I'm going to leave the bottom hem unfinished because I want a tattered look, and then I scrunch the fabric up and press it with my flat iron so that it drapes a bit, not quite drape, but that it has the look I want. Now I'm just checking how I'm going to put the skirts onto each other. Next up is the jacket or shirt. We have a lot of pieces, so try to keep up. So I have some gold, and I'm adding that to the bottom back pieces. And it's because of the awkward, opposite curves, it's a bit awkward, but I sew that in place and top stitch. Then I sew the two lower back pieces together. Not all the way because it's supposed to be open in the back. And then I fold over and sew that middle open part in the back. Next, the top back. And I pin them together good side to good side, making sure my seam allowance goes the direction I want. And everything matches up. Then I sew and top stitch. So for my upper sleeves, I just add a little black ribbon onto the lower part of my upper sleeve piece. Then my collar piece is a rectangle. I fold it in half and sew up the two sides. And in my front pieces, I'm going to first use my pattern to measure where the darts go, and then I'm going to sew up the darts. And in this pattern, I don't have to use hand sewing for that. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And in this case it works out. Yay! Next we have two lower sleeve pieces, a white one and a brown one. So first I distress the edge of the white ones. And it actually took quite a while to get it distressed enough. And for the brown I'm folding over, pinning and sewing the sleeve cuff. Funny thing, me and my sister getting these dolls were what led me into BJDs in the beginning. Anyway, after all that's sewn, I pin the fronts to the backs good side to good side and sew the shoulder seams and top stitch. Next I have two gold pieces and I'm going to sew it onto my collar. So the first one is just on the side and the back one in the center back. So I start by sewing it onto the inside at the top of my collar because I'm going to fold it over towards the outside later. Next I'm going to make a ruffle on the bottom front of my jacket. So like with the skirt, I pin the sides, pin the middle, pin the middles of the middle, well, yeah, until I get an adequate ruffle. And then I sew that and flip it over and top stitch. Now I'm clipping some of the curves in the lower sleeves and pinning them to the upper sleeves. Good side to good side naturally. And after pinning I sew them. So clipping corners in the collar of the bodice. I'm going to add my collar starting from the center and going to the sides with the fabric good side to good side. And making sure the bodice has a bit more fabric, so that later we can fold that over for a nice finish in the front. And so, and now for that gold ribbon, I fold it over towards the outside of the fabric and pin it in place. And stitch it together to the bodice down the center and the bottom. And now I'm folding over, pinning and sewing the front opening of the jacket, and for a clean finish, like I said earlier. Now clipping some corners of the sleeve holes, I'm going to add the sleeves, starting from one side and going all the way to the other side. And now I just need to sew the sleeves and side seams. Now make sure my fabric lines up and my seam allowances go in the direction I want them to, and sew it up. The first version of this outfit was also the first time I've ever made a proper pattern for doll clothes. And while I'm doing that, I also fold over the edge of my tail piece and sew that in place for a nice finish. And turning it inside out was a bit difficult with the very wide lower parts of the sleeves. If you're ever looking for a nice introduction on pull-ups and whatnot, there is a nice place I can recommend where I got all my info anyway. I'll put the link in the description. Anyway, these sleeves were a struggle. And lastly, I just need to add the Velcro to my front closures. Oh, as a front closure. And checking the fit. And it looks nice. The last step is adding all the steampunky gears and stuff. Now I made some sometime with flexible resin, and although they're red now, I'm going to paint them gold, and I'm going to sew some onto the outfit and whatnot. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this, and I really hope you think I've improved. So let me know if you think I've improved compared to my first version, and how accurate you think it looks to my concept art. Thanks for watching. Bye!